You are listening to Food for Worms, the original True Grime podcast.
Food for worms.
Let me hear that. Let me hear that button. Let me hear that.
Are you recording already? Are you doing it?
I just want to get into it.
It's a
Yeah, sorry, it was,
thing. Da-na-na-na-na-na. What a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. Da-na-na-na-na-na. What?
No, keep going.
Oh, I don't know the rest of the words.
Jesus Christ.
I've had that. I've had the chorus of that song going on in my brain for the past day. I don't know. That's ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, with Jeff Lynne.
Those guys. Hell, that's good shit.
Yeah. They're kind of the electronica of the 70s era, I guess. They're all over.
Yeah, I will say one of the things I appreciate about ELO, the few times that I've been cognizant that I was listening to ELO, is them being way ahead of their time in their sound, because
for sure.
Hey now, Mr. Blue. Is that it?
Yeah. You know
that song. That song does not sound like it's from the 70s.
No.
That's just like y'all. It feels like they reached into the future and they found a killer song and they're like, we're gonna steal that song from the Killers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, his voice is so underrated. Like I feel like in general, like his voice is just great. He's also in the super group, the Traveling Wilburys, and I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but that's
I know the Wild Thornberries. That's the
yeah, that's definitely the Wild Thornberries. Is the band he's in for sure. But no, dude, it's like I mean, a lot of people hate on them, but I dig their music. Fucking Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, George Harrison, and Roy Orbison, and then
Roy Orbison, that guy.
Yeah, sorry, Roy.
Yeah, sorry.
What was that rumble that we just had going on?
Oh, that my dear friend is every day on in Brooklyn.
Nice, I like that. Is your window open, or is
day.
that just how your apartment sounds?
That's how my room sounds. You can't hear what's in the living room, but it's like my bedroom is facing the street, and motherfuckers be going down day and night with the most obnoxious fucking engines and music blasting with the windows open. And it is what it is. At some point, I've just learned to just block it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in Blues Brothers when they're in their they go into their apartment and it's literally the train that's up on the upper train in Chicago. What's that train called? I forget the name of it. It's in a lot of crossword puzzles, and that's the only reason I know. But now I can't remember it. But he's like it goes by so often. You won't even notice it, and it's literally shaking their whole fucking place because the train's right outside the bedroom.
No, that's how I can imagine some, because there are some apartments that are like, if there is any trains that are above ground, there's some apartments that are just like right there, like that's your apartment, that train within 10 feet of each other. And sometimes you're lucky, and it's like that area is maybe properly oiled or it's been updated enough where it doesn't sound like the fucking banshee out of hell screech, like going at 10 miles an hour or some shit. But there are times where it is not that, like where there's just like the train screeching the entire time, and sometimes you're the unlucky bastard that has the apartment that's right there.
Right.
And so far, I just have to deal with loud engines and bachata music, which is great. So
and I mean, there's worse things that we could deal with. If it's like I don't mind noise. Like I grew up on a busy street when I was a kid, so I had some noise outside the window. But
Sam, you were like 5 years away from being old. You have a full-on garden in front of your house, man. Get out of here.
What are you talking about? I'm 5 years away from being old. Jesus Christ! All these people, like we're in our early 30s, and everybody is fucking dreading like each year of their lives now. And it's like, dude, we're not even middle-aged yet. Like, I'll start freaking out when I'm like 45 or some shit. But I am not an old man by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, you are not, and you are as old as you feel. And
just because I have a garden, I'm an old man.
I think that's the joke. That's the joke, and that's the rub. It's like you are, and I think that because you have this really gnarly, great garden. Again, like this isn't a knock at the garden. It's a very beautiful, curated garden. You have so much going on inside of it, but you did that shit. And all I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily, it doesn't add like negative years to your life. You just like that's a thing. That's a thing that maybe something
and I mean,
Professor Feeney would do.
if age makes it, yeah, that's the George Feeney in me, right?
Yeah.
If age makes it so that I can actually like dedicate some of my time and do something productive, then I'm totally cool with getting older. But it just, I don't know, it bugs me a little bit when some people are like, God, I'm so fucking old. I'm like, dude, you're 29. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're gonna be fine. You're okay. Just try to live your best life, and I'd say you're fine.
I agree, because I did see someone else that is by all means like, if I'm 32, they're like 26 now, and I've seen. And again, I don't really like I saw somebody said this on Twitter, and then I decided to talk about it in real life. But they were just like, "Is this what a quarter life crisis? Is this what a half life crisis is, or whatever it is?" And I was kind of like, "You're 26." I was like, "Yeah, like relax." But no, but not to take away from, because like sometimes motherfuckers, you could be 26 and have lived more life than a 50-year-old.
That's what I was gonna say. It depends on like the life that you're living, because like I got some fucking coworkers that are almost twice my age that like they haven't left their house, and like besides work, like they don't do much outside. And I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, like, it depends on like what the life is that you're living,
or the life that's lived you. Because like here's the thing. The one thing I'll say to the people that, and this is where empathy comes in. So it's like, try to understand where people are coming from, but it's like like sometimes you just had a fucking, and even if it's like you had a hard time for like a few months, and then rather back to that, kind of chill, or you just had a hard fucking life. Like you and I, we both know people who have had a hard life.
Yep.
So in that time, for them, everything just feels longer. All the little bad things that happen feel big, because back when they were younger, those little things were a fucking constant for them. So sometimes so while we're talking about that, it's like coming full, like at least our relative full circle on it, is like, we also understand, hey, you're 26 years old. That's not old. Even 30, that's not old. 40, that's not old. However, that's usually coming from a place where you had some shit going on, and then it feels like a quarter life crisis. I hope that you live longer.
I guess the only point I'm trying to make is like, you could feel of age, because you could be or you could feel aged at 26, because you might be living more of a life than I'm doing right now, but as long as you're putting an effort to live your best life and hopefully enjoy yourself, if you're not doing that, then you have nothing really to bitch about getting older.
And that's where and where I push back on that, Sam, is that it's
I'm not being empathetic.
Yeah, fuck off. No, it's that is that sometimes people, like, you learn to live your best life. Sometimes life lives you. Like, you are the vessel for you are the not the arbiter. You are the avatar for shitty things that happen sometimes for some people, and sometimes shit just happens.
What would my avatar look like if it was like
your avatar? Your avatar would look like Sid Vicious, but he's wearing like a pinstripe suit.
Nice.
With like a tribly. But I'm saying, like, when I say like pinstripe suit tribly, I'm saying like it actually looks good. However, every time he opens his mouth, you're like, what's gonna happen?
Right.
What sound's gonna come out? And then it's just that Sid Vicious, tribly wearing, pinstripe suit wearing person that's just quoting the Blues Brothers the entire time. That's your avatar.
I hope Sid Vicious was into the Blues Brothers. I hope he was. I'm not much of a Sex Pistols fan. I think they're. I mean, all power to anybody that's down with their tunes. I just think they were kind of lame. But that's just
well, if it makes you feel better, I just pulled Sid Vicious out of a hat. I could have said it.
Well, I thought you were gonna call me Sid from Toy Story, the fucking.
No, you're not a fucking sociopath. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm just the one that gets stoked about Pop-Tarts, but then I'm blowing up army men in the backyard.
with your garden. You fucking nerd.
That's straight where my brain went, and I was like, oh no, D's going Sid Vicious wearing a suit. Okay,
No,
I'm still a grown up. I'm not a little child.
You're not a child. No, you're good. Well, I guess with that being said, since we're 10 minutes in, hi everybody, welcome to Food for Worms. I'm Darien,
and I'm Sam. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Just living my true grime life.
I like that. Yeah, true grime, motherfuckers.
True.
Oh, what?
No. Okay, well, I was just gonna let it be like uncomfortable silence for a second, but that's great.
I have a hard time with uncomfortable silence. Have you ever noticed that?
I do. You fill space. You fill some fucking space. I'll be like, no, just let it breathe for a second. You're like, no. You just slide right in.
Yeah, I've always had an issue with it. I'm learning to do it, like just with my I think with my solo time, doing things around the house or doing things by myself, going out into the world. I like to spend more of my time by myself, and I think that's me enjoying the silence. But when I am with people, I feel like I need to be fucking talking all the time, and I don't know what that's about.
Hell yeah. So on a completely hard right pivot, I've been looking forward to these to this specific Instagram page for a while now, and it's called Writing Prompts.
Writing prompts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, with that all being said, okay, so I guess the premise of this whole thing is like this person they come up with like writing prompts. So they give you a scenario, they give you a few beats, and then from there you can write your own story to it. Here's the thing: some of these things are so fucking cool that if somebody were to run with this, it's like, all right, where'd you get the idea from? And then,
right, you can't really rip it off. You have to, like, maybe it's this person's ploy to get credit for like rad shit people are putting out there. Because I mean,
if you want to be pricks about it, yeah, maybe that's it. But but some of they're all really fucking cool. And if anything, like they're so. Like I think it's definitely more of a tool for people that are creative writers to really like kind of stretch their brain on some things. So like here's an example of one where it's like, you often end up in extremely dangerous situations where you should have died, but somehow come out of it all right. It happens so often. The Grim Reaper has started to show up with a bag of popcorn and a lawn chair. and it's shit like that. And it's like you usually just write like talk about it, and I was like, that's fucking incredible. It's so fucking cool. And I get really
well, and I see him hanging out at like my yard sale in a lawn chair, like he's just hanging out with me, like chilling in my life with me, doing my
thing. Another one is called "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?" But all the contestants are billionaires, so it's more like a threat. And
that's so legit. That'd be like a torture fucking thing. Like you did something horribly wrong, and you're trying to save the billions of dollars you have. It's like, you want to be a millionaire, motherfucker?
Yeah,
shit's gonna go downhill real quick.
Yeah, no, and the audience, they're just super fucking hostile the whole time. He's looking at you like no one's clapping. No one's saying no one's even saying boo. They're all sitting just seething because they just want you to fucking lose.
Yeah,
no, it's fucking incredible. Like, I don't know, if you're a writer, don't go on there and rip off a bunch of shit. But if you're looking for like some creative writing prompts, just kind of put you in a different space or some kind of just kind of tweak your creativity, I've definitely gone there because I don't know. It's like every all of the prompts are so different. It's kind of like this isn't necessarily for me. This is the most Instagrammable form of just writing whimsy. Like somebody sits down and maybe they're stealing this from somebody else. I don't fucking know, but it's dope. So yeah, check that out. Writing prompts. This one's Instagram's writing.prompts.s, and I'm sure that there are a whole other bunch of other ones just like that. But hell yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that helps for like writer's block. Like, I'm not a big writer. Like, if I am, it was like when I was playing music and stuff on the regular. Like, it's very like obscure. And I don't even know if it's like poetry, because most of the time when I was writing, it was either to get something off my chest and like maybe make me think about it more, or it was like me intending to go towards the song. So I think something like that would be kind of cool. Even like you're saying, don't completely just like rip off what somebody's saying, but like to get something to spark like whatever you've been like feeling, but you don't know how to put it into words. Like maybe something there you can just roll off of or whatever.
Yeah, no,
you're a good writer. You know how to put things into words on paper. I have a harder time with that. And and I like stuff like that, like just small little bullet points of like blah blah blah, and then just roll with this. Like that would really help me for sure.
No, it's been writing has been always been fun for me in different ways. Like from I've always been a bad student. I'll just say that right now. But as for like writing for fun has always been really cool. Like if I ever have an opportunity to write for myself, or if I'm gonna write and it's gonna be attached to a piece of content, or back in the day when I was a little bit more active in sharing my thoughts, all of my like a detailed list of my thoughts and feelings on a certain topic that's currently plaguing America, I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I'd have it right out. But I always got the kind of like that release from it, and especially when I feel like I'm like a motherfucker, I'm on a roll, and I'm just kind of like this is it, like just that sound. I'm tapping into a fucking calculator right now, everybody, but it's a good fucking feeling.
I like that you picked up the calculator. You didn't have to tell everybody that was
homie,
a calculator.
Like Foley work, okay? I'm about that Foley shit. I'm just trying to make the best sounds.
I honestly, because your bedroom is also your office, so I want everybody to like picture you as, and I've said this before, but I want everybody at home to picture you as like JB, the mega weirdo guy from Grandma's Boy. He's just in it. You're just surrounded by your desk. It's all there's just like techno blasting. What? You're in a comfy ass fucking chair.
Sam,
and like it's like made for your.
Nothing you've said is cool. Nothing you said is accurate.
Who cares? I am not cool, D.
Okay. Listen. I'm not gonna roll with that. He was a piece of shit in that movie. He said, he's like, will you sit on my face? That's what he fucking said that. Why would you even put that on me? Now I know what Sam feels. Now I know what Alex feels like when I said that the fucking sandwich he made was just like, is what the McRib wishes it was, which is the fucking previous week's episode.
I'm not saying this is what I think of you. I'm saying this is what I want people at home to think of you.
And I don't want them to be mad at all. Like the fuck?
It's like a drum machine for a Slipknot concert.
He's
just like whirling in a circle as we podcast this whole fucking time.
Welcome to Food for Worms.
Yeah, D roll just rises up on his riser and starts fucking going in circles.
Wearing a skin tight leather costume, my hair slicked back.
Yeah, that's why the cars are so loud. D isn't in his apartment anymore. His bedroom is whirling above the street, and there's cars like right under him as he whirls. He's like twirling around like a drum set in Slipknot. This went a far ways, but I hope people are using their imaginations when they picture you in your bedroom /office /podcast room, and me, I'm wearing pants.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk now for 1 second. Hey, everybody, sorry, I am so sorry for whatever Sam's kind of fucking image just put in your head. Like I'm visibly upset. The people that actually know me, I hope that you were also upset for me. And if you've seen Grandma's Boy, you know that the person he's trying to think that he thinks that I am like or would be. Or
I never said
like,
I thought you were like that. I said I want our listeners.
You want the listeners to think they're cool. So whatever. So you want people to think I'm like that. You said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So fuck you. That's 1. 2. Absolutely terrible. Terrible thing. That was the most backhanded compliment I've ever had today.
It wasn't even a compliment. I'm suggesting things. This is me sowing my chaos into our.
You. That's my thing. God
I know, but this is me sowing some chaos into your life and our listeners' lives, and they're just like, what is Darien's?
Listen, for every last person that refers to me as JB from Grandma's Boy, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna Charlie horse the shit out of you.
I can't wait.
You're gonna show up on that. I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna be in town. You're gonna open the door. I'm gonna deck you right in the fucking thigh. And with that all being said, everybody, we're gonna take one quick break, really quick, so that I can go and look in a mirror and try not to launch myself into the street. No.
Food Performance Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sam, you've been to therapy, right?
Yeah, it always helps my brain and my heart to get the weird, sad, scary stuff off my chest.
Yeah, man, the case of the sads comes at you fast, but yeah, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace in this day and age is just hard. It truly is.
Well, and I mean, who wants to go to an office where you have to be by like a real life human?
Absolutely not. No, not in this neat body, sir. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, and then like the recycled air, just that you both have to breathe in each other's faces
to validate your parking and talk to Janice outside. No, thank you. To avoid that nightmare fuel, BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, or live chat sessions with a licensed therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy and can start communicating with the therapist in under 48 hours. That's nice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Food for Worms listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Goddamn right.
That's betterhelp.com/foodforworms. Oh.
1, 2, 3.
And we're back.
Yes, sir. That was weird, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I made it a little bit more, energized, a little bit more zest in there.
Yeah, there was definitely some zest in there. Now everybody thinks I'm fucking JB.
No, that is not going to be a thing. That's not going to be.
That's probably going to be a thing. Listen, Sam, if I'm going to be called J.
Okay, who am I then? Who like?
No, we're not gonna play this game. What are we about to say? No. We're not gonna. You already said it. What are you about to say?
Oh, I was gonna say I watched a surprisingly like great movie this past like week or whatever, and I'm always like I'm always weary of I think I've said this before, but like Marvel, I love a lot of it, but like some of it I don't, so I'm like I go into those things with an open mind of it either being really shitty or really great, you know what I'm saying? And I do the same with those new Disney adaptation movies. And
Disney adaptation movies. What does that mean?
Or not adaptation movies. Like the redone ones. Like they redid fucking
live action movies.
The live action, is that what it's called?
It's the live action Disney movies. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I was thoroughly surprised with like a couple of them, but I recently saw Cruella with Emma Stone.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I just sat there a few weeks ago. Fucking great. Keep going. I'm listening. Sorry.
Oh no! We were like waiting for it to be like I think like free to stream or something like that on what is it, Disney Plus, and I went into it with that like outlook because I don't want to get my hopes up because I love Disney so much. I just don't want to get my hopes up when they're redoing something like that. And it was thoroughly fucking great. I really enjoyed it, and then it got me thinking. Like Cruella de Vil, she's like one, probably my favorite fucking Disney villain. It's like either her or Yzma from fucking Emperor's New Groove with David Spade. Yeah, her and Kronk. That's like one of the best pairs of
Patrick Warburton.
What?
Patrick Warburton played Patrick Warburton. He played Kronk, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's good shit. No, Yzma, Eartha Kitt, the late Eartha Kitt, play her, right?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, she's so fucking legit. I got a couple of her records, and like, lady was around for a very long time. Like she was doing her blues thing back in the fucking 50s and 60s.
Eartha Kitt was a fucking American icon, man.
Oh, hell
Canadian dancer, activist, fucking just wonderful person. R.I.P. Eartha Kitt. Yeah, no, I watched Cruella, and I have purposely, mostly through disinterest, not like I'm actively avoiding them, but like a lot of the live action adaptations of Disney movies, I haven't seen a lot of them. Mostly, and part of it is because like there is a box in my head of me just wanting to like maintain what I thought of those stories as a kid, just for what they were, as opposed to what they're trying to make them into now. But I'm not totally against it. Like I think the one that I did sit down and actually see was the remake of Jungle Book that Jon Favreau did. That was a fucking amazing movie. Fucking Bill Murray playing Baloo and Bill Kingsley playing Bagheera. Like I was like, that's one of my favorite movies growing up.
Well, and Christopher Walken as King Louis was my fucking favorite.
He was fucking terrifying in that movie.
well, yeah. I mean, he's fucking 100 times the size he was in the old animated one. But that adaptation of that character was so fucking great because it wasn't what you expected, you know?
Yeah, and I guess there's a part of me that just wants to. I want to retain what those movies were like, but I'm totally open to those things. But getting into the newer ones, where like the live action adaptations of the full on movies, now like you said, Cruella, you guys saw that them making these movies, and talk like them bringing the story of the villains to life has been really interesting, and the way they've been flipping it, making you kind of like understand the villains a little bit more.
Yeah, it makes the antagonist the protagonist, you know, like
to a point,
you feel for that person that, you know, you've also hated.
But here's the kicker. The kicker for me though is that like no matter what, not with the exception of Maleficent, because like that was a whole ass movie, and they honestly, like, as I understand it from the Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent just rolled up and just cursed the baby and left. The original movie, Maleficent was like, "Fuck you, fuck your kingdom, fuck." You know what? Yeah, curse this child, curse you, dishonor on you, dishonor on your mama, dishonor on your cow, the whole fucking 9 yards. She did the fucking thing, and then
Did you just say your cow? Yeah, fuck your cow.
Yeah, fuck your cow. They ended up doing the Angelina Jolie version. They've been making 2 fucking movies of that, and they completely reworked like who Maleficent was, why she did what she did, and gave you more of a, like, this incredibly hurt person that was at the very beginning of her life betrayed by humans and had no reason to ever fucking trust them, and it was just all bad from the very fucking beginning. And you can, and for that one, I think they did a great job of really making you sympathize for her, and then also understanding where her hurt comes from. And then they did the same thing for Cruella. Like the whole time, I'm rooting for Cruella, but halfway through the movie, no, honestly, most like right away through the movie, I'm like, didn't this fucking woman try to kill 101 dogs for a coat? No. So
you worked your way up to that.
You worked your way up to that, but it's like, but this whole movie is the Cruella movie is about her just breaking bad the whole fucking time, and like her also like having to lock off a part of her. And sorry, you know, spoiler alert, if you don't want to fucking watch Cruella, out of all the fucking villain movies, that one's fucking solid, because without getting too much into the story, Cruella basically had to like kind of forcefully had to lock down a part of herself growing up, and then because she was just trying to be a good person, and then she imagine trying to withhold all that personality and all that rage, and then having all the things that happened to her in the beginning of the movie, and then all of a sudden breaking bad, and then having it all spill out of her at once.
Well, and finally, the other side that you've maybe been oppressing a little bit, like being that darker side, is finally engulfing the other one. You know,
it's all that, but then it's also like she's just kind of like, man, like she all those parts that she was suppressing kind of spilling out, but all these things that happened to her, and as a result, were like just like the external things that are also like that were a huge factor and all in her entire story. And I was just like, no, I get it. But the other part of me is like, no matter how we shake this, Sam, at some point, this fucking woman is going to try and kill 101 dogs for a fucking coat. So I'm just like, out of all the fucking villains that we could possibly sympathize with,
right?
Out of all the Disney villains, who is usually like vanity, a lust for power, the one that I think had the most evil streak because she wanted to kill a bunch of dogs was Cruella. I think that's the darkest thing that could ever done. And I don't want to get too far into the supervillain conversation, because I think that's actually a huge topic. That's one of our large topics tonight, is that our top 5 supervillains. Right? Do you want to jump into that?
Well, and I mean, we started talking about this whole thing, or because I wanted it got me thinking about like who my favorite villains are, and like. You know, like these new movies are doing, like a lot of times, like some of these characters are the antagonist that is actually the protagonist. You're rooting for this person that might have, you know, not so great morals, but you still feel for them and understand maybe where they're coming from. Not agreeing with
to a point. I don't care like how much like we want to say. Not killing 101 dogs for a fucking coat.
No, I'm not saying her specifically. I'm just saying
Yeah.
some characters you do see where some place or like where it turned into the. I'm not saying like liking the fucking person.
Yeah.
It just it makes you understand it sometimes. So I want to do we're doing the top 5 again. We haven't done a top 5 in fucking forever. So I was hoping we could do a top 5 of our top 5 favorite villains.
So two top 5 favorite villains. All right, word. Do you want to start?
Yeah. In no particular order, or do you have yours in a particular order?
I do, but go for it. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, my first one, the first name I thought of was Hannibal Lecter. And it was between him and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, because that's one of my favorite characters ever, one of my favorite stories ever, books ever, movies ever, and Anthony Hopkins, folks, for everyone that doesn't know, and I don't know the guy that plays Buffalo Bill, and I don't know if I need to, but I'm sure Darian's looking up his name right.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, never mind. But no, that was the first the first name that came into my mind for like my favorite villain, because he uses his knowledge basically to be like 2-3 steps ahead of every single other person that's involved in his life, and Clarice is the only person that can like semi keep up with him, but he also is reading into everything that's going on with her, so he can like manipulate and get under her skin a little bit. It's such a fucking great written story, and a very well written like horrible guy. I mean, the guy's a fucking cannibal, and they're trying to stop other killings from going on and happening, like it's not a great dude.
I've never actually seen Silence of the Lambs. And I know who Hannibal Lecter is,
right.
and I'm aware of all like I've seen bits and pieces of Silence of the Lambs where it's like they're trying to catch him, and ends up like slicing into fucking Gary Oldman's character and leaving him all fucked up and everything. I just remember being like,
Yep.
This is terrifying. Also, why is everyone just alone while this man is out like hunting them and shit? It's like, if you guys just all kicked it like together for a few weeks or months, maybe you'll make it.
Like, do your thing together. Well, and I mean, I think you would enjoy it, because we've talked horror movies in the past, and I usually dig like horror films before like some suspense movies I'm not down with, but like fucking Sixth Sense, Silence of the Lambs is like my favorite suspense movie, and I think it's definitely more in that realm. I think it's on that side of that spectrum, and it's I don't know, the storyline is just my favorite. So that was my first one. So
nice. Mine in no particular order is the Mighty Monarch from the show called the Venture Brothers.
Oh, okay. And I've never seen the Venture Brothers, and I know it's like a huge show that everybody fucking loves, but I have not dove into it.
Well, the monarch is his primary traits. He's like a butterfly, royalty themed. He fucking flies around a gigantic cocoon. Has this obsessive, terrible. No, okay. His personality trait is very obsessive, but he has this very shrill voice, and he has this unnatural hatred for one of the main characters, Dr. Venture, in the show. He has a fucking whole crew of henchmen. His wife is also super villain. It's called Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, but before that she was named Dr. Girlfriend. She was the shit. She talks like this, and she's great. And and one of the reasons why I like him is that like he is, I think a true villain, they don't just want to see you burn, they want to piss on your couch too. And that's the kind of person that the Monarch is. The show lasted.
Rub it in your face.
Yeah, rub it if he fucking can, like he will. And and every chance that he's had a chance to try and kill Dr. Venture, it's always been thwarted because he's like the least important villain that they usually go against, but he's the one that's trying the hardest, and he can never really get it off. And then there's always something that stands in his way, like, because with the whole thing with the show, it's like if you're a Dr. Venture, you're like a super scientist hero archetype, and then there is a literal a union for the supervillains called the Guild of Calamitous Intent. And at one point in the show, he ends up getting like downgraded, and he's no longer able to actually arch against Dr. Venture, and he spends the entire season trying to get back to that point, and he systematically kills like things he couldn't do to Dr. Venture. He just does outright to all his other poor superhero type people. He just outright just kills several of them because he's like, no, I'm gonna fucking kill him. He's like, no, it's my thing. Oh fuck! And it's one of the fucking.
He like has a tantrum and kills all these other people.
He kills so many people. He kills so many people. He kills his henchmen just on a fucking whim. Like one of the first episodes, he sends them to go kidnap Dr. Venture and his kids or whatever, and somebody, I think, like farted or somebody dropped something. Someone opened a can of soda, and without flinching, he just and one of the things that he has like this these wrist launchers of with poison darts in them, and he just unloads on one of his fucking henchmen. Like opens a fucking can of soda or just makes a sound, just kills him outright. And he's just brutal in every single way, but when it comes to Dr. Venture, he just can't get it done. And then even when he's not able to get, so there are times where like he's a B character, but he's in a main character kind of path. But there are times where he's not even the main person that Dr. Venture is dealing with. He's dealing with somebody bigger and badder, and then there'll be scenes or just a whole other subplot to the story of the episode of the Monarch trying to get to Dr. Venture and realizing that Dr. Venture is not home. So he takes a shit in his bed. So it's a shit like that.
Fuck you, bitch.
It's basically it. So it's like
he ding dong ditched.
Basically, or there was another one where Dr. Venture is doing something, and he spray paints gasoline all over his front lawn, and like mind you, like Dr. Venture lives on a compound, so it's like all these different industrial buildings, big corporate building in the middle, water, fucking long ass road, and a big patch of grass, and he just puts an entire fucking gasoline image of a butterfly, and then lights on fire, and then flies away, fucking laughing maniacally. That I think that we all deserve a better class of villain in our life, and I hope to God that if we are ever arched against, that it's a Monarch. And Rand.
Well, D will be our beacon.
Absolutely not
to bring it.
No, who's your next one? But
my next one is actually one of my first crushes ever, and one of my favorite villains of all time, and it is Catwoman, specifically Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in Batman Returns with Danny DeVito and Christopher Walken. Like that has always been one of my favorite fucking, like she's probably my number one on the list. And maybe that's because I'm not reading which other ones I have. But no, like I don't know. She just had like her vengeance story. Cause I mean, she was thrown out a fucking window. Like her whole thing is just her whole life. Like this is her second life now because she lost her first one. You know, she's the kitty cat. The cats brought her back, and that tight fucking leather, man.
All right, relax. Okay. Now I feel that.
and then her whip and her fucking her nails that she like tears up her lazy boy. And makes a skin tight leather suit with, and then makes like thimbles connected to like little prongs and makes fucking claws. So badass. And she makes it just like right after she just got pushed out of a building and the cats brought her back.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like how playful she is. Like she'll flirt with and kiss fucking Batman and then
push him out of a building.
Yeah, scratch or like stab him in the fucking side, like by the kidneys, and then shove him off a building.
Dude, that was the no. I think looking back at it now is really funny, but when she does that, he just fucking punches her and just knocks her. Yeah. And then she falls off and goes to the truck because he's like, he let her get close. And she's like, yeah, nah, man, he fucked up, right? Stabs him in the side, which is also like, it's the bat suits. You think like there's like a level of there's a level of protection here. And she's like, nah, you got me in there. I'm gonna stab you in the fucking side with these you said it was thimbles made with fucking
Well, I think it's thimbles because they're on the tips of her fingers,
yeah.
obviously, and then
There's
with
like
the
something
little
sharp
prongs.
on them.
But they were like feeling up on each other, and I think she was like looking for an open spot in his
Yeah.
armor, because like she was like rubbing on his fake, chest plate abs and shit.
Mm-hmm. No,
um,
yeah, Catwoman.
but but
She's.
but but oh, sorry.
I was gonna say like she's definitely she started out as kind of a villain really early on in the comic books, but I know that she's been more of an anti hero. Definitely like she
Oh,
because like at the end of the day she's a thief before she's really a villain, she's a thief. Earlier on she was definitely classified as like one of the rogues gallery, but once she became more of like but once Selena Kyle, which is her real name, and sorry
yeah.
I have and I don't have an encyclopedia, but I wish I retained more things in this world, but I retain a lot of comic book bullshit. And
Well,
she's
that's like me with like 1970s random fucking, I don't know, blues music or something.
our Blues Brothers content at all time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Grandma's Boy.
Yeah. God damn it.
It's the only two movies I watch, so
Woof.
that's a lie, totally.
Yeah.
But no.
Shout out Selena Kyle, the top anti-hero,
And fucking Michelle Pfeiffer.
the jewel thief. Yeah, man, Michelle Pfeiffer's the truth.
Well, and
And yeah,
Danny DeVito as Penguin, like that's definitely a close second. Like that movie is so great because of the two gnarly
mhm,
ass bad guys. Like Penguin, that movie wouldn't be the same without Penguin. So
mhm.
I have mad love for that character as well.
Yeah, man, and did it with a bang. My next one.
Hmm.
And I know like we were trying to do like individual characters, but from there's me a few of mine where I'm choosing an entire population or I'm just going against like a specific character who's widely known but is a really specific character in a movie. In this
Okay.
case, my second villain is going to be Santa Claus from Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Him and all those motherfuckers were pieces of shit. They treated Rudolph so bad he fucking left and went on a fucking fucked up ass adventure. He got into gang shit. He ended up almost getting eaten by a fucking abominable snowman. Had to go through a lot of bullshit. And then when little motherfucker came back from the island Misfit Toys, they come back. It's like, oh no, there's too much snow. We can't see up there. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, will you guide my sleigh tonight? And then Rudolph says yes, because Rudolph is like,
Yeah,
I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm
he's a
sure,
G.
yeah. And then even as a kid, and when I got a little bit older, I remember this movie going on, being like, yeah, they treat him really bad though. To the point where it's like everyone ostracized him. His dad wasn't proud of him. His mom was like, "Baby, I
Right.
love you." He's like, "Mom, I gotta go find my own way because no one wants me here." And he fucking left. And then he comes back a little bit older, a little bit barely wiser, and he ends up getting roped in to fucking save Christmas that night. Because Santa Claus is like, "Oh no, we can't see anything. Oh, your nose, this thing that works for me right now." But I was treating you like shit. Ugh, that's a terrible fucking story. It's a terrible fucking way. It's a terrible message to send anybody.
Yep.
You don't get to treat people.
Especially who it's directed for, children.
Yeah, you don't get to treat people badly and then ask them for shit later on. You just don't. And I think that Santa Claus in that movie specifically, and a lot like all the other piece of shit fucking reindeer who treated him badly, and then we're like, "Yo, we need you," and him just being like, "Hey, and also I'm all like, if you have it in you to forgive and to just be the bigger person and fucking do the thing for the greater good, then sure." But
But
how? But
fuck you,
this,
Santa.
yeah. But mostly, fuck you, Santa, and fuck you, the rest of you piece of shit deers. I'm not doing this for you. Doing this for the fucking kids. Yeah, and I think Santa Claus and the rest of those fucking reindeer are all the villains of the Red Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story from back in like the 1960s. Like it's
That's
just
an
it's
interesting way to think of that, D. But I
well, it's
fully agree with you.
yeah,
I I I I- I'm
it's a
100%.
dubious moral fucking story. It's bullshit.
Yeah. I get that for sure.
Yeah.
No more Christmas, folks.
Yeah.
It all
No,
needs to
because
end.
one of the things that they're doing right now, is like one thing I appreciate is like a lot of these movies that are being screened right now. and definitely more like the Disney movies, because they there was truly like a real reckoning about the portrayal of certain of not certain specific nationalities throughout their stories. So like they preface it at the beginning of some of these movies on being like, hey, they either take it out entirely, or they preface it be like, hey, this, we're not proud of this, but this is a thing that was we're giving you a heads up, like this part is in here, this is, so you can either they either give you the option just to watch it without it in there at all, or you can watch it knowing that it's there.
Right.
Yada yada yada. I don't expect them to. I don't expect, not Disney, but I don't expect everybody to fucking take these parts out. But I am totally okay with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer being torn to fucking pieces. Really and truly.
Yeah, the warning just comes up: do not watch this.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna watch it, no. If they're gonna do anything, like, hey, if you're gonna watch this movie, just know it's not okay to treat people like shit, and then ask them for help years later. Keep that same energy.
Yeah. That's not legit.
Yeah. What's your next one?
My next one is my dude, Michael Myers, aka the Boogeyman. My favorite slasher of all time, and definitely my favorite horror movie of all time. Jamie Lee Curtis, John Carpenter directed. But Michael Myers is so fucking great because he moves so slow, but he's going to get you no matter what. And but he's just so no emotion, doesn't say anything. He always gets you no matter what, and you just know he's there, you know. And I have love for Jason Voorhees, fucking Freddy Krueger, like Pennywise, all these other iconic horror movie bad guys. But Michael is just my dude, because like he goes down so many fucking times, and then he's gonna be there, and then like I don't know, how did he end up in the back of this car? Like why is that what he thought, or where he thought he should fucking go? And then he, you know, finds the girl, slits her throat, and moves on to the next thing. But I just had to bring. What's that?
I can't fucking stand. I can't stand Michael Myers.
Don't like, why? Because he scares you?
No, it's not because he scares me. Because he's just the luckiest piece of shit in the world. Yes, he's mentally disturbed, and yes, he has a really specific and clearly unhealthy obsession with his older sister or younger sister, whichever the situation is. But it's like that motherfucker's been menacing the screens for like 40 fucking years, man, and he's not showing any fucking signs of just stopping. And no, this isn't me turning down. Like I think that out of all the stories, out of all the villains, like the more just kind of like gaunt, you don't know what the fuck they're thinking. They're just pure drive, murder,
it's literally
murder,
he's
kill,
pure
kill,
evil.
kill.
It's literally just evil. There's
If
no
that is,
reason.
it is okay.
It's never explained or anything. He is just evil. Like he's supposed to be like the embodiment of evilness.
Yep.
And
at the end of the day, he's also supposed to just be human. And this motherfucker stabbed repeatedly. He's been blown the fuck up. He's been lit on fucking fire, and they just let him do his fucking thing. Also, he doesn't really run ever. From what I've seen, he just walks really slowly, and he apparently rolls really good on his fucking self checks in real life. So I don't get it. So I'm not trying to take this away from you. I'm being critical of Michael. Like, he's a fantastic fucking villain. He's just a piece of shit.
God, man, you're upsetting we're losing so many people right now.
Listen, hey, if you think that I'm wrong, do you give yourself like a if you think I'm right, like,
I think this is why you
snap your fingers quietly to yourself.
I think this is why you hate horror movies, D, because like certain things like that, you are analyzing in it. Like, this dude isn't fucking or this guy isn't fucking running. What is he doing?
Half of my issues with horror movies isn't the villain. It's the people that allow themselves to get murdered by him.
Well, that's my fucking the people I have an issue with as well. Like, you want to see those things. That's why you're watching a horror movie. You know, I just love him because there is literally no reason why he's doing what he's doing. It's not explained. And I'm talking specifically about the John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, I think 1979 film, Halloween. Like that's the like, because obviously they dive more into his storyline and, you know, find out, and different renditions have different parts of you know, the story that they either brought to the table or you know, got from somewhere else. But that one specifically, like, it's just such a fucking mystery. Like, he's supposed to be like a demon. fucking evilness, the boogeyman, and the human embodiment of just a horrible something, you know.
I guess like I just like my villains to be a little bit more fleshed out, and instead of like, I think one of the things I appreciate about Halloween and Michael Myers and himself is that it's the body count, it's the longevity. He's been on just as long as fucking Jason Voorhees. He's been around longer than fucking Chucky or Freddy Krueger by all.
And he changed the game.
He changed the game in so many different ways. I just get like, at this point though, it's like Michael Myers is like 60 right now and still just getting it in, and I'm just like, at one point, yes, he's just evil, sure, but at this point, there has been no real supernatural part of the movie, and it's just been Michael Myers, extremely lucky human, who has been stabbed multiple times, has been hit by cars, and is able to walk away, go somewhere coalesce, and then start murdering again.
He's literally doing nothing but killing.
That's all he's doing.
Like in his nightlife, he's probably hanging out with Leatherface. they're ordering in a movie, having some TV fucking dinners, and then they play some cards, get a little drunk, and go to bed. Like those guys are the odd couple. Brooke and I just watched that movie the other night with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. What's your next one?
My next one is Jesus Christ, Sam. My next one is going to be Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid. Now
you're gonna go that route.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that route. I'm trying to subvert some shit, man, because but I say that having watched all of the seasons of Cobra Kai and understanding that with them being able, they're basically pulling a Harry Potter in that they're able to offer like they're able to create their thing that was 30 plus years ago or close to 30 years ago, and then be able to flip the story.
It was more than 30. It was like 36 years ago the first one came out.
Sure. Yeah. But with all that, with the new show Cobra Kai, they're able to really give more context and really help break down and like really give the watcher more, the consumers of the show more of the lore and understanding of who these characters were, what they're actually going through, and then
it's directed towards our generation.
It's directed towards a generation, but it gives the people that watched the movies back then more context, and you also get to see those characters back then be adults now. Like they bring back people from like the second movie and the third movie when they go to Japan and everything. Like they bring a bunch of people back in a bunch of different ways.
I was going to ask you if you've watched all three.
I've only saw the first one, and then I definitely saw the one with Hilary Swank several times, and then that's it. So the next Karate Kid.
The next Karate Kid.
Yeah, I think that they're going to bring back. I think Hilary Swank should definitely come back for one of the seasons. Just like, yeah, I was also Mr. Miyagi teacher when Daniel fucking LaRusso fucked off for a few months and went to college. I don't know, but
now she's teaching.
Or they, I'm not sure what they're.
Or they, but they are teaching Mr. Miyagi because he's learned all of his stuff.
Mr. Miyagi is dead in the show, homie.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Anyway, yeah, no, it just breaking down like how Daniel LaRusso was kind of a fucking villain. He instigated most things that happened to him in the movie. I was gonna say that for fucking just.
Yep, watching it now, you see that first fucking fight.
Yeah.
Where he runs up because Johnny's fucking with her radio or whatever.
Yeah. Like no, by all means,
business,
like,
Daniel.
Yeah, like Johnny, like by all means, like Johnny, he wasn't like he was maybe a young asshole, maybe to a point, but I don't think he was like instigating really much until like fucking Daniel LaRusso came in town. I was like, yeah, man, I'm learning karate and I'm just gonna start picking fights. And Daniel was like, the other fucking guy's going, yo, what? And I don't know, like I think that's really important.
He's like, sorry that I know karate better than you do.
Yeah, because like they both know how to fight, but it's just like it's one of those things where, you ever been in a fight and you get in trouble by a teacher and the teacher sees how it ended, but they didn't see how it started.
Well, I mean that happens with so many different things too,
Well,
not just
yes,
with
but
fight.
but
Yeah.
the point
Yeah.
of that
Yes.
thing, of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
parallel is that, like, that's basically what all of the first Karate Kid is Daniel LaRusso starting, almost always starting some shit, and then getting his ass kicked, and then
Just because he's the
he
main
ends the
character,
movie
we take his side.
he ends the movie doing an illegal kick to the face. so I'm just also like, I get it, and then also, then with all that being said, you actually see the remake with Jaden Smith years ago, and the movie, and then it's not, it's they definitely write it so he's like, no, like, he's definitely clearly getting fucking bullied in China by by the local kids and everything, and it is
Right.
what it is. But
I did not see that one because it was kind of the thing. Like I didn't want it to ruin the, because
yeah,
I love the original trilogy of the first ones. I've seen the Hillary Swank one. Don't really remember what I thought of it or how it was.
mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen the one with Jaden, and is it Jackie Chan? Yeah,
Yeah, Jackie
yeah, he's the
Chan,
teacher. Yeah,
good
yeah,
shit.
Jackie Chan.
Who's
Good
your
dude.
next one?
My next one is it was a weird one to throw out there because I don't know if I think of them. I mean, yes, they're a villain, but it's in a very, very sad way, and it just it makes me so fucking angry. But from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Nurse Ratched, which is the
Mm,
main nurse in the mental health ward that she is working in, and you know that Jack Nicholson goes to McMurphy,
mm-hmm,
and all of him and his fellow counterparts, and she is just so relentlessly, like, unaware of what these guys are actually going through. Like
mm-hmm,
she is just telling them what they are dealing with, and they're trying to express themselves, and then they get upset, and nobody is hearing what they're fucking saying, and it's all because of her. Like
mm.
she is just oblivious to what these men are going through. But have you ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
I haven't, but I'm aware of a lot of the references in real life.
Okay. Well, because I mean, just like they have group therapy,
Mm-hmm,
and she's the one working it with all the gentlemen. Jack, like they're questioning in the film, if you haven't seen it, like whether Jack Nicholson actually has something mental health going on, or if
mm-hmm,
he's faking it, like just kind of trying to like pull one over on them
mm-hmm,
or something. So like that is kind of the pre-existing thing going on, and but she is just so not cooperative with anyone. Like if
mm-hmm,
anybody's expressing anything, she just tells them that they're wrong and just shoots them down, and then holds those things that are insecurities of these men trying to work through their issues and expressing themselves. She brings it up to like throw it back in their face,
mm-hmm,
and you watch, you see these men's faces in the movie, and it's just heartbreaking. Like it's an amazingly depicted film, and it's definitely, I think, in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. but but just check it out if you haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, I don't know, just like mentally one of the most shitty villains of all time, and that's why I
mm.
threw her on my list.
Shit. Yeah, I haven't seen it. You mentioned Nurse Ratched on more than one occasion throughout the pod, and now I kind of get like a better idea. Because like again, like, I was just aware of some of the references of movies, that of iconic movies like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I've never been like never had the opportunity to just sit down and be like, yeah, all right, there it is, I get it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean, and check out the book too, because the book is fucking. I mean, obviously it was a book first, but but the movie is from Jack Nicholson's perspective, Miss McMurphy, and the book is from the perspective of Chief, which is the guy that they think is mute and deaf and dumb. It's like what they call him,
Mm,
um, and I mean, it's from his perspective in the book, so it's 100% different than the movie.
mm-hmm,
I mean, obviously the storyline's the same, but the perspective is so much different, you know.
mm.
Yeah.
All right,
So
man.
yeah, check that out if you haven't seen or watched. I think that was Jack Nicholson's first Oscar. Was that movie? And she won an Oscar as well. I forget the name of the actress that played Nurse Ratched, but yeah, both the two of them won an Oscar for that film. What's your next one, D?
My villain's going to be the entire township of Whoville from The Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm sorry. And
I love it. I'm gonna go with you on this one,
right.
But I want to hear you explain to me why.
So play with me in this space.
I could definitely. Oh, I'm definitely gonna play with you in this space because I love the story.
Yeah.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So all right. Tell me.
So for me, I'm definitely gonna say that my thoughts here are with the understanding and having seen the original cartoon, but I'm basing most of my thoughts off of the 2002 Jim Carrey live action movie,
yep.
where they really give you a more in-depth look on who the Grinch is, why the Grinch is, and where he came from. Well, you don't really know where he came from, but where he came from, and then so what
his backstory is.
Yeah, you get an understanding of who his backstory is, what his relationship is with the town of Whoville, and why he became who he was. Like, there are so many movies out in the world where the character is like just trying to get by. They're different in one really distinctive way. In this case, he's the green small person who's actually played by I think somebody that was who's now since passed transitioned and passed away as a kid, but like he was just trying to get by. He went to school. He had a crush on that girl, and also just understand the kids are fucking cruel anyway. Sometimes as great as they are.
The town just tormented him.
I think that most of the torment from what we saw in the movie was a lot from the teacher being really fucking tone deaf and not being supportive, and then a lot came from many of the students. And you just know how kids, they can just be like really fucking big assholes when they want to be. And a lot of times it's just thoughtless. I don't think kids are bad, but just sometimes they don't think about what they say or what they do, and then how it affects others. Now, that's kids. That's a movie. Whatever. We're not getting into the psyche of children right now. But after all the things that happened, he wanted to make a gift. He wanted to profess his love to this girl when he was a kid, and then he ends up getting super embarrassed because the dude ends up being like, "Oh, you get." It was like broke his thing. No, he made her a really nice thing, and then somebody else got him a fucking shaver,
because he like made her an angel for the top of the tree, right?
Made her an angel thing, and then the guy who ends up becoming the mayor gave him a fucking what are the things called? Some clippers so he can shave his beard. And he supremely embarrassed him, and so then he's like, well, fuck all of you. He goes up to the fucking top of Mount Crumpet, where he ends up like spending like what I think is like 30 or more years becoming really angry and bitter. And while that's all happening, the town of Whoville has become completely materialistic. The fucking the idea of Christmas is all about the gifts and all the lights and all the bullshit and the glitz and the glam, and everybody's freaking out about Christmas, and then Santa Claus is coming, and whatever. Okay. All right. So then the Grinch does what he does. Do I think the Grinch going from house to house stealing your shit, is that the thing that's okay? No, obviously I don't. However,
right,
the Grinch, his feelings didn't exist in a vacuum. And it's a different director's all. Then okay, no. So then on top of that, he does all this happen. The little girl who ends up becoming like the actress ends up becoming a fucking lead singer, rad fucking singer for like The Reckless, or I don't fucking know. Years later, she's like, yo, let's nominate the Grinch as like the top cheermeister or whatever the fucking thing is, and everybody's like, that's crazy. And she's like, no, you're all crazy. I'm gonna do this shit. And they're like, yeah, go for it. She goes up to the top of the mountain under fear of fucking death. Okay, she could have died. She could have frozen death. Like no one. She's did it. All right. She gets this crotchety bastard. Yeah. What?
obviously she had no one like on her side. Like
Yeah.
this girl she has been like on her own, like
Yep.
trying to do her thing and like go the right path
Yeah.
her whole life, and
Yeah.
then she's been
I think she's one of the. I mean,
told the opposite.
dude, her and the dog are the only redeeming characters in the whole fucking movie.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was gonna say Max is the greatest
Yeah,
fucking
Max
thing.
is Max is the saint. He deserves a fuck. He deserves
He
his
has
own
a
movie.
great fucking heart because he's just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do whatever
So she
you
goes up
want.
there. She gets him down. Comes down there. They put him through the fucking emotional ringer. He sees he sees the girls that he liked growing up. He's being fucking. What's the thing where you're being forced to relive your traumas all over again? But like you get this immersion therapy. He gets fucking immersed back into this really traumatic fucking place. All these pieces of shit that he does not fucking like. Okay.
But the shot of all of them shoving fudge in his
And
mouth,
fudge
though,
in his
is
face
probably
and
one of the
cheeses and crackers, and he just like poor fucking bastard, right? He goes through all of that,
yeah.
and then as soon as this fucking thing's about to go down, they're like, "All right, and you get a gift. You get a Christmas shave." Now, the same thing that sent him up the fucking mountain is now the same thing that ignites him to go full fucking rage. And I've made this is gonna be my second
like 30
Dungeons and Dragons fucking reference tonight. He evokes rage, okay, and he fucking loses it and blows up on the town. And the same motherfucker that asked him to do the whole shave bit is the same motherfucker that did this shit to him as a kid. That's
Well, and then he
fucked up.
shaves the middle, and then he shaves the
The
middle
middle of his fucking head,
head.
and he destroys the fucking town. Okay,
which most would.
Yeah, most would. So you forgot.
He's been waiting for this for 30 years.
No, he wasn't waiting to destroy the town. He wanted to leave the fucking town.
No, I know, but he's been avoiding them, living his own life,
Yep.
like trying to not be a part of it. And then
Yeah.
he's like, "I'll throw you guys a bone. I'll come down and hang
I'll come
out
down.
with you."
I'll entertain the idea of your bullshit little ass party. Sure, thank you.
Fuck this.
Yeah, and he comes in, and then they do the same fucking thing to him. So imagine doing all that shit. You fucking live on a mountain. You've been isolated. At some point, he's talking to himself. He's like, "You're like," he starts screaming, and the echoes into the middle. Like, "You're an idiot!" Like, "I'm an idiot. You're an idiot." Like, it comes back to him. Like there's some of I think
he's going nuts.
Jim Carrey is an absolute treasure, and I think he's great in so many different movies. But I think that for me, hit one of his top performances. Not the thing that I like the most. One of his top performances is him as the Grinch. He did so much in that fucking movie that was just like off the fucking cuff. Like, you know, like when he pulled the I keep wanting to say curtain, but the fucking tablecloth under, and everything stayed.
The tablecloth, and then put it around his waist.
Yeah, because he takes it and then he walks off the screen, and then he walks and he knocks it over. He wasn't supposed to do that. Like, there's just like I'm like he's so fucking amazing. And he fucking killed that movie. And I feel like the town of Whoville lost its way when it came, just like America, and just consumers and all that shit. Like the town of Whoville lost their fucking way. And then they fucking, well, I'm sure not everybody was aware of what happened to the Grinch because at that point he's a fucking urban legend. But they fucking did all that to him. And then they fucking then they fucking did the same thing to him. Like, it was just a cruel fucking act. So I will retract my statement to a point. I won't say that all of Whoville were pieces of shit are the true villains, but the society that they create around Christmas and the way that they treat the Grinch, I think that is that's the part that I'm on track with.
Specifically, it was the generation that was the same as the Grinch when the Grinch was still a part of Whoville.
Yeah,
you know,
so I would say like two generations.
Right, but the mayor and the girl he had a crush on, and I think a couple other characters, like, you see them as kids with the Grinch, and it's like those guys are the main ones that just brought him down to fuck with him.
I think that here's the thing though. The one thing I'll kick the leg out from underneath my argument is that when it happened, I think everybody thought that the little was it Mindy Lou Who, whatever. I think that they thought that Cindy Lou Who. I think that they were like, no, that's crazy. It's never gonna work. I think it was more like they already had their idea of who the Grinch was. I don't think a lot of people knew him growing up. And honestly, it's becoming more and more apparent that we're casting hypotheticals for a movie, but just for a movie in a place that is currently in what I'm hoping is still a speck of snow on a mountain somewhere. But I don't think everybody was the villain. I think everybody kind of viewed the Grinch as probably like the boogeyman that lives up the fucking mountain. That if you leave him the fuck alone, he'll leave you the fuck alone. And I think the two good people, outright good people, were Cindy Lou Who and Max the dog. Everyone else, they were just kind of like there along for the ride, and they just kind of got caught up in what Christmas had become, like it's become everywhere else.
My favorite shot from that whole movie is like literally like the 10-second clip where you see those like the kids going, like the teenage age kids or whatever, going up the hill towards or on Mount Crumpet or whatever, and them coming up again like to the Grinch's door, and then like the fake head comes out, and then it's Max barking into the thing, and it just makes it like a big roar. And that's like like that intro to like into his place and like how he does that. Like I grew up reading the book, watching the original animated, and like I loved that scene specifically because I was just like the people making it, you can tell they have a lot of love for the story because they killed it with the adaptation. I think it was what Ron Howard directed it. I don't know who produced it or adapted it or whatnot.
Shout out to Ron Howard. He's a fucking national treasure. What's your next one? We've talked about the Grinch too much. Or your last one, right?
My last one is my favorite one that I threw on my list, and it's Wile E. Coyote.
Oh fuck. Jesus Christ, you want to oh fuck, man. All right, nice.
Cuz he is so damn determined and like for what he's doing, because he just all episodes he just gets fucked the entire time. Nothing ever works for him, but he is so damn determined, and you love him because he hasn't won yet, so like you don't even know what he's gonna do, the Roadrunner.
I know what he's gonna do. I'll get into that once you're done. Once you're done with your run, I'll tell you exactly what the fuck he's gonna do to the Roadrunner if he ever catches him.
Well, he's gonna eat him, but I mean, there's another character where it's probably been like what 60 years that he's been trying to eat this fucking Roadrunner.
Yeah.
But he is so damn determined. He works his ass off for that fucking meal.
And apparently,
is this dude eating outside of like what is he doing when he's not just trying to eat this bird?
I think that he's working his fucking his third shift job to pay for all the Acme bills for things that he orders off of Amazon to help him kill this fucking to capture and kill this Roadrunner. I think I agree. Riley Coyote, he's a top villain in that every hero needs some kind of villain to help. Well, okay, I guess this isn't specifically the case for the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner relationship, but like every hero always has like some kind of character that kind of helps them become like the best versions of themselves or whatever. Well, in this case, it's just the Roadrunner is just this unattainable thing that the Wile E. Coyote is never going to be able to hit or reach, and you just basically see this fucking this coyote doing like a Sisyphean task, where it's like he's constantly rolling this fucking rock up the hill, and not only does the rock roll back down, it actually like hurts him. I think that and
then the joke is it rolls over him again.
It rolls over again, like it rolls over once, and then it's like it already passed, but then it just because physics doesn't matter and magic,
it has to hit you.
It hits him a second time, and it's like, what's going on? What the fuck? Yeah, I think that the Wile E. Coyote is actually like immortal, and I think he's just he's immortal and he's rich and he's just trying to get this fucking bird. And that's the one, and I think he's trying to get out of his he's trying to. I think if he catches the Roadrunner, he's gonna finally get released from this mortal plane and be able to die because
he finally gets the Roadrunner, kills it, and he's just walking off, and he's like dragging the bird, ready to just fall asleep.
Yeah, he's like, as soon as it happens, he just turns into dust and goes like full Avengers Infinity War and just turns to dust and flies off into the wind. That got dark. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we took it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was, but just the relationship between him and Roadrunner, he is like the definition of a bad guy, of a villain. But you feel for him, you love him.
Hell yeah, man. Well, are you done with Mr. Wile E. Coyote, sir?
Yes, sir. What is your final one to finish up our top 5?
My final one is one person, but then also all the motherfuckers that follow him, and that would be Governor Ratcliffe from Pocahontas.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah, right. The piece of shit. Now, if you're not aware of him,
I'll go with all the people that follow his ass.
All the white people. So Governor John Ratcliffe is the main antagonist from Disney's 1995 film Pocahontas. If you're all not aware, and he is this unbelievably greedy piece of shit who's just has an insatiable fucking craving for gold, and he's already rich, but he just comes to he's on the colonial train on their way to the new world, and just immediately just starts fucking shit up as soon as he fucking gets there. If you've seen the film, without if you've seen the film, you kind of know what he does, and he just starts a whole fucking war. Like it's a it's one of those films where it's like, oh yeah, it was beautiful, majestic when it came out, but you get older and you kind of learn more about what happened with the first peoples of this world. You kind of understand like it's way darker and shittier than that, and the Disney movie definitely doesn't give. They give you a taste of what the colonizers did and are doing, but
right.
when you get older, you kind of realize, oh no, it's way more insidious than that, and it's terrible, and it's still terrible. It's not ending. But John,
I was gonna say, like, it's the one thing that's like in those Disney movies that like this should actually like happen. Like this is like not these specific characters, but these things happen.
Yeah, like they roll up, they find they try to displace people who are already there, and then they look for reason to fucking try and kill them, which is exactly what they fucking did. And Governor John Ratcliffe, I think he's definitely a character that portrays like the insatiable greed of just the colonizers as a whole, and doing and saying whatever you can to make more money and get more gold, and basically start off the fucking plot of Pocahontas for however fuck it was gonna happen anyway. But I feel like he's one of the like, out of all of the villains in every fucking Disney movie. Like we got Maleficent, who just cursed a baby. You got Scar, who committed regicide and tried murdering his nephew and taking over a whole fucking.
That's basically Hamlet, right?
Sure. Yes, and then you get the Little Mermaid, Ursula. Ursula has several crimes that she committed: kidnapping, identity theft. God, she took over. She committed copyright fraud by stealing original works from Ariel, and then and then she tried usurping the king and taking over the whole fucking kingdom.
Well, and yeah. I mean, basically, turning all of the changing everyone's form.
Yeah, everybody's a thing. Yeah, and then false imprisonment, and then if we want to get into magic, illegal transfiguration.
There you go.
Shout out Professor McGonagall. She taught me very well. And then who else you get? You get the fucking the one lady from the first Rescuers movie, fucking kidnapping and probably jewel theft, grand larceny. You get all that, and then fucking Cruella de Vil, who actually was on my list. We ended up talking about her earlier on, but like she wanted to kill a bunch of dogs, and for all these things, like these are all objectively bad characters who have motivations that led them to do this or that. But the one that I feel like is the darkest out of all of them is definitely Governor John Ratcliffe from Pocahontas, because of how just absolutely real he totally is and was in the real world. And it's like, basically the Lion Hamlet. Okay, like that happens. Motherfuckers like, no, we're gonna come here, we're gonna rip up the ground, we're gonna fucking displace the local inhabitants. Real world, bitch. And then it just happens, and
bye.
Yeah, bye. And then 200 years later, or here, so 200 more years later. So anyway, that now, honestly, out of all the ones we're talking about tonight, the John Ratcliffe one is definitely that makes me the most angry.
So a good note to leave it on.
Yeah, leave it on that note. Yeah, fuck him. Sam, can I read us out?
Yeah, I was going to read us out.
Oh, no, you go for it. I did it last time. It's all good.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
If you want to submit any questions or topics, head to bit.ly/FFW
grab bag.
or contact us at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com. For more existential humor, remember to rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's very perfect, folks. It's how more people can find our show.
Spotify.
That's how they're saying it now.
Spotify.
That's the new way they're saying
Jesus Christ.
You could be anywhere, and you choose to be here with me and Dee.
And we're sorry for that.
We appreciate you for joining us, folks.
Thank you.
We love you very much. We appreciate you. As always, check on your strong friends. Tell your people you love them, and remember that you can't take any of this with you. So don't be a dick. I love you, D.
Damn, I love you too, buddy. Weird question.
What?
Wouldn't it be weird if it would have been probably terrible if you have the knowledge of knowing someone was masturbating? If someone's masturbated to you before, wouldn't that be terrible? Yeah. Don't answer. Just you have a good night, buddy. Good night. On that note.
This has been Food for Worms. Love you, bud.
Bye, everybody.
The Food for Worms podcast is a hella rad production.
It is recorded and mixed by Samuel Sarver.
Executive producers are Darien Washington and Samuel Sarver.
Theme music is Muffins by Dresden the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe, and leave a review.
Because we need those reviews.
We do, and it helps people hear our stuff.
Pushes right to the top. But on top of that, we also get that sweet ass validation. Sam, have you felt validated lately?
Sometimes.
I recently took up this new moniker. Play with me in this space.
What's your new moniker?
Validation Highlander. I used to be chopping fucking heads off, man. So stupid.
Fuck them bullies.
Fuck them bullies. You get it validated, and you get it validated.
And you, and you, and you.
Do you feel seen?
I'll cut your head off.
Oh my God.